Hello friends, welcome back to this kitchen. Recently, I traveled back home and while I was there, I decided to make yellow Garri the way we used to make it back in the days. The whole process brought back so many beautiful childhood memories, simple times, village life and the joy of making food from scratch. And honestly, the process was easy, natural and the Garri came out absolutely beautiful. Now, let me show you exactly how we did it. First of all, I thank God I was able to find well matured cassava ready for harvest. Matured cassava is very important if you want good quality Garri. So I went straight to the farm and started harvesting. As you can see, this is me pulling the cassava tubers right from the ground. After uprooting them, I removed each tubers from the stem. I kept repeating this same process until I have harvested the quantity I needed. Once done, I gathered everything together and prepared for the next stage. Now it was time to peel. Using a kitchen knife, I carefully peeled off the thick outer skin. After peeling, this is how the clean white cassava looks. I placed the peeled ones in a bowl and continued peeling until all the cassava was done. One amazing thing about going back home is how it rekindles those childhood memories, recreating the things we loved doing while growing up. These basic village activities may look simple, but they carry so much meaning. And making yellow Garri is definitely one of those unforgettable experiences. Next, I added water to the pit cassava and washed them thoroughly until they were completely clean. After washing, I set them aside in another bowl. Once that was done, it was time to grind. I add the pit cassava into a grinding machine and press it down using bigger pieces of cassava. At this stage, you have to be extremely careful, especially with your hands. The machine does not forgive mistakes, so please be watchful and conscious. After grinding, we move to the next important step, adding palm oil. Added a little palm oil to the grounded cassava and mix it very well. I've seen some people add palm oil during sieving or frying, but personally, I think that method is more tedious. Most times, the oil does not blend evenly, which can affect the color and even cause odor if the Garri is not consumed quickly. Mixing the palm oil at this stage ensures an even color and better preservation. After mixing thoroughly, I transferred the mash into a strong sack bag, tied it tightly, and laid it on a well-arranged wooden platform designed for pressing out water. Then I arranged heavy wood on top and press it down as much as possible, securing everything firmly with rope to maintain constant pressure. This stage is very important because it helps extract all the cassava juice. As you can see, the liquid begins to drain out gradually. I left it under pressure for about 2 days to ensure all the juice was completely removed. After 2 days, once properly drained and slightly dried, I untied the sack and transferred the fermented cassava into a bowl. Now it was time to sieve. This is the sieve I use. I took small portion at a time and rubbed them against the sieve with my hands. As I rubbed, the smooth granules began to separate from the chaff. Once fully sieved, I set the chaff aside and repeated the same process until everything was done. Here we have the clean sieved Garri and the leftover chaff, which is the unblended cassava particles. You can sun-dry this chaff and use it to prepare amala or simply discard it if you prefer. Now, the final and most delicate stage, frying or toasting. Add some of the sieved cassava into a frying pan and begin stirring with a cut-out calabash. Stirring must be continuous to prevent lumps from forming. This step requires patience and constant movement. After toasting for some time, I tested it with my hands and also scooped some into the calabash and flip it slightly. When it becomes very dry, it makes a cracking sound. That is how you know it is ready. Once dried, I removed most of it from the pan, but intentionally left a small quantity behind before adding fresh one. This is very important because the pan is already very hot. Leaving some dry garri inside helps prevent lumps when you add a new batch. Then, I continued stirring again until fully dried. I repeated this process for all the batches. And here it is, my beautiful yellow garri, very dry, evenly colored, and properly processed. When stored well, this can last for months at home. Now let's talk about how to enjoy it. To make eba, add your hot water into a bowl and pour your garri over it according to the quantity you want. Sprinkle a little hot water on top. Cover it and leave it for about 10 minutes. After that, stir and turn it until smooth. Serve with any soup of your choice. You can also enjoy it by soaking. Just take the quantity you want, add water and pair it with groundnut, sugar, fish or anything you prefer. And that is it. This is exactly how we used to make yellow garri back then. Simple, traditional and beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.